combo that should work. This is the combo that should, make the difference and all that. But see, but when you make that proclamation, it so rarely works out that way. This with this should equal great success. Kind of like why supergroups in music never work.
Or very similar to when Boston Celtics traded for the Big Three. You and I think at some point, back a few years ago, had said we'll see, because everybody was like, boom, they're going to be the favorites for the NBA championship, and we were kind of like, well, we'll see. And it ended up in that rare instance working out to where they actually won the championship. So I think I totally get what you're saying.
Well, yeah, and it's a very rare thing. But right now, I'm not ashamed to say it. I was wrong. That Mark Martin appears to be hitting what he can do in this car.
Do you think Mark Martin could win the championship?
Yes. Do I think he will? Different question. But do I think he can? Yeah. He's one of the guys I could see doing it. Because right now, his cars are running better than half the guys that are in front of him. There's not many people out there that can beat Jimmy Johnson one-on-one. Not Jimmy Johnson, but Mark Martin. But what I was going to say was Jimmy Johnson is your 3 times defending champion right now, and he got beaten by Mark Martin straight up.
Because I'm sure there's a part of you when Johnson got up to second that was thinking, here we go again.
Oh, you kidding me? I was thinking that when he got up in the top 5 again. I was just like, here we go. Here it comes again. No, yeah, I mean, I can't help but think that anytime. But that's the thing, though.
So you were pleasantly surprised.
I love the fact that somebody went up and said, no, just shut him down. I love seeing that. I love seeing that in sports. Seeing that guy that, it's like in football, the wide receiver nobody can cover. I love seeing when there's somebody comes up and says, you know what, no. That's what Mark Martin did on Saturday.
And yeah. And the interesting thing about that, and I can't remember if we talked about this last week or if it was announced, but was it announced? Did we talk about last week that he's running full time, or did it not happen yet?
I think it got announced later in the day, but yeah, he's announced that he's going to run full time next year as well.
I think that's very interesting.
It has everything to do with the fact that he's won races again. Remember, his last full time season, he didn't win a race. So I mean,
05, 06?
06.
Yeah.
06, he did not win a race. 07, and 08, part time rides, did not win a race. So here's an 09. Brand new ride, great team around him. He's winning races. When you're winning races, when you're running up front, you're having fun. And when he's having fun, you want to come back and do it again.
Definitely, I'm very happy for him. The other interesting thing about the race was there were some decent come from behind comeback stories in the race. Johnson did not have a good first half of the race and came back. Jeff Gordon, from my understanding, I guess had a loose tire. I missed that part.
Yeah, he was allowed down at one point, but so was Johnson. But here's the thing about that is I never really expected either one of them to not battle back, so to speak. Like a loose tire, you'll go down a couple laps, but it's more than you are more than able.
Especially in a Darlington race.
Yeah, well, and then there's lots of ways to make comebacks from that, and I feel quite certain that I felt quite certain when watching that.
You were like, well, they'll be back up there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And in fact, I was watching, the more I watched the race, or the longer the race I got, I kept saying to myself that, all right, what point do they start making their way to the front again? And that, like you were saying, do I see it? Or I was thinking, here we go again. You're absolutely right. I was thinking, here we go again.
2 other interesting things that I wanted to bring up from the race that I'm sure you were thinking about too. What do you think of Joey Logano's 9th place finish? Impressed?
I was more impressed with the fact that at that point he was leading. I don't know if you saw that, but
Yes, I did.
He got up to the front and led for a while, and that was what was impressive. It's
I'll say this:
there's a long way to go, but this is the step in the right direction.
Yes.
This is the light at the end of the tunnel,
and
for
by
him.
by far, his best run of the season. Talladega once again wild card.
Yeah, I threw Talladega out.
So by far best run of the season. But
Absolutely.
However, it was the new Darlington. Let's see if he would have done as well on the old Darlington.
Yeah, the difference being is that he's not sliding around as much. But there is don't be fooled. The Darlington is still a
tough track.
Well,
look at how many cars hit the wall throughout the whole weekend.
Yeah, I mean you're still moving around a lot. But yeah, it's still a tough track. But I mean it was I'd say I was impressed.
Yeah, and another noteworthy thing, and I'm honestly sad, Clint Boyer's streak ended.
Yeah, I kept saying to myself watching that race that he's just gonna fix it and come out for like the last couple laps like it did at Talladega, which I looked up and yes,
he did do that.
He did do that. Yeah, because he was running, so it was 8 laps and running. Sounds like one of our slot car scores.
Yeah, it does. so he did do that thing where they spent their whole race fixing it.
Yeah, or they had it fixed by halfway and said we're not gonna make minimum speed. Let's wait till the end so we can save our streak. That's my personal theory.
I'm surprised they didn't do that again.
Well, they probably. It depends on how much damage there was.
Yeah.
That
was kind of a sad ending. I mean, all streaks are meant to be broken, but did you hear how ironic it was that he was one away from the record?
Well, it happens, and I was hopeful for him, but I mean, when you run that many races in a row, it's bound to happen at one point or another. Well, you were mentioning about some interesting finishes. I actually hadn't looked at the exact top 10. Keselowski finished 7th.
I knew you were going to say that. That was one, yeah.
Keselowski finished 7th. Martin Truex Jr. finished 6th. Ryan Newman finished 4th. So a 3rd and 4th place finish for Stewart Haas, and I mean that's a great day right there.
So the entire top 5 was
Hendrick Haas,
because it was 1, 2, Haas. And then 5, and then 3, 4.
Yeah, and then you got Keselowski in 7th.
I just love saying. I'm not right very often, so I love the fact that Stewart Haas Racing is proving me completely right.
Yeah, but you were lucky. Hey, I was lucky too when I predicted the champions all those years in a row.
Yeah, but you don't. I know Tony Stewart. Well, I don't know. Yeah, yes, Tony Stewart and I go way back. We're best friends. No, I just know how Tony Stewart. It just from my perceptions of Tony Stewart as a driver and as a person, I just knew that team was not going to be the way it was, and I knew he was going to make the chase. And Ryan Newman is just icing.
Hey, he hasn't clinched anything yet. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
He's going to be in the chase.
He hasn't clinched anything yet.
I will buy you dinner if he doesn't make the chase.
Now you're just giving me incentive to root against him. Are you trying to make me a Tony Stewart
I will buy you
hater?
dinner if Tony Stewart doesn't make the chase.
Well, that's gonna be a buff. It's gonna be a big dinner, by the way. I'll just let you know right now. No, but I just wanted to. I do like pointing out that Tony Stewart's doing well. Don't get me wrong. I do like the fact that Stewart's doing well. I'm happy for him. There's no reason anybody should have had any right to predict that, but you did, foolhardily. You just got lucky. It happens. Trust me. I'm the king of getting lucky by making foolhardy predictions. If it's like the old adage about throwing excrement against the wall, see what sticks. That's what I can say.
That's not what it was.
It is.
Do well. But Brad Keselowski is gonna be a good driver. It's gonna be a good driver. What are the plans? I think you knew this. You were telling me this on Saturday. Or whatever day it was. What are his plans? Are they gonna put him in what car are they gonna put him in? Is it supposed to be the 5 eventually?
I think that was the hope. I think the hope here was, or on Hendrick's side was that Martin would run part-time next year.
With Keselowski.
And Keselowski would run part-time with him and then take over in 2011. But obviously the old coot said, "Nah, I'm taking that car."
Now, did Mark overstep, or was the option for full-time in 2010?
The option wasn't specific. But I think the thing about it is that if Mark Martin wants your car, you give Mark Martin your car. I think that's how it comes down to.
Oh, and what's interesting is he can't run a 5th car.
No, he can't.
Can he run a 5th car part-time, or is that not allowed?
Up to 7 races. That's what you were asking me about. Why is Keselowski in the race, I think it was, or something like that. He's running the 25 car up to 7 races. But it's for like a developmental driver. So if Roush had 4 cars and they wanted to run a 5th one part-time because they had...
like Eric Darnell or somebody.
Yeah, they could do that.
So NASCAR probably wouldn't let them do that with Keselowski then next year?
No, I think they would still. He's still considered new.
That I think we both agree that puts Hendrick in a very interesting position of having almost too many drivers.
Well, there's been some minor rumors about Junior Motorsports wanting to go to Cup next year, because that's who Keselowski technically drives for in the Busch Series, which is these days really more Hendrick Motorsports, but that is who he drives for. So what if Hendrick says, "Here, I'll give you all the parts, equipment, you guys work out of our shop, but you're the owner, Junior. If you have everything you need, why not do that?"
Then that completely bypasses the 4-team rule.
Like Stewart Haas Racing is Tony Stewart's team, but they're getting all their cars from Hendrick. They're getting all their engines from Hendrick. Same thing. Satellite organization.
So in that case, Hendrick finished the entire top 5. In a way.
If you want to twist it like that.
You know I would twist it like that.
You would. That's just why I'm saying if you want to twist it like that. I'm pointing out the fact that you're just completely spinning it. Yeah. You're spinning it. This is not politics, sir. And you are not a politician.
No, I'm not. We're sports fans. That's what we are.
And other racing news, because we are always talking about NASCAR, but we never talk about other motorsports, which is funny because there's so much other motorsports going on.
2 weeks till the big race.
Define big race. I'm thinking
Indy 500.
Oh, I thought you were meaning Coke 600. Yes, the Indy 500 is in a couple weeks, and they just had qualifying. Do you know who won the pole?
Yes.
Do you know who won the pole? I got the results. Elio Castroneves in his full time back in with Penske won the poll from